Students who are familiar with selective schools know that people who attend these schools are gifted academically across a range of different subjects. Exams like the NAPLAN are generally not a challenge at all, although the writing exam is becoming an exception. In this video, I will go through why writing is so challenging for students in the Australian school system, even for the best and smartest students. Let's get into it. Over the past 10 years, writing skills have dropped across students in both primary and high school students. This is also the case for students at selective high schools, who are typically considered the brightest in the state according to an internal government report that was just released. In 2021, the numeracy portion of NAPLAN, more than 9% of students finished in the highest NAPLAN band in Year 9, which is a great achievement as that is the highest standard possible. In reading, it was a bit lower at about 6%, and writing, it was just 4%. This is evidence of students finding the basic fundamentals of maths much more easier compared to the reading or the writing components. Selective schools are not exempt from this trend. Sydney Boys High School, who was ranked 13 in 2021 HSC, have noted that they want to encourage stronger reading comprehension and better writing skills across the curriculum. This is one of their 3 strategic directions of the school, as they believe that they already excel in maths and problem-solving areas. Instead, their creative writing ability needs work and has become a bit more of a focus area for the school. This also aligns with the previous selective school insight, which indicated that more male students made it into selective schools from the old exam format, which included general ability due to the number of positions, but also due to the tendency that males are generally stronger in both maths and general ability sections compared to females. This has changed to an extent with the new selective school format, with the weighting of reading and writing increasing and becoming more challenging compared to the past, although it will take a few years to see whether this results in more tangible improvements in the English HSC scores or the overall standard of English in the future. It also makes sense that this is a focus area in improving overall writing and reading skills, as Sydney Boys is only for male students, if this trend is actually accurate. North Sydney Girls High School, who was ranked number 9 in 2021 HSC, aims to improve their academic writing skills as well. They are alongside Helston Agricultural School and Northern Beaches Secondary College Manly Campus, which is a bit of a tongue twister, who are making writing a bigger priority compared to the past. The 2021 NAPLAN data also shows that students that are most likely to perform better in the writing exam in terms of NAPLAN are females who typically speak another language at home and those who have university educated parents. Going back to single-sex schools, schools are doubling down on this trend and have invested immensely in books that are going to be more engaging for boys only, schools in particular including a range of non-fiction books. It also indicates a self-image issue, which shows that a need to change, otherwise students will feel like they should not put any effort at all, because even if they put in the effort, they're still going to be bad at it. This attitude needs to change, otherwise we will see their writing ability still get progressively worse over time. So we know that writing levels across the board are weaker even for students who are from the best schools in the state. What is being done to combat this, especially for the students who are not in these selective high schools? English departments at schools will now be solely responsible for teaching grammar, sentence structure, and punctuation, compared to before, where it was supposed to be a shared responsibility across all teachers in every subject. This is particularly important as a study by the New South Wales Education Standards Authority, or NSW, highlighted that writing has been neglected in high schools. And in 2019, Year 9 students were the equivalent of 5 months behind their peers in Year 9 students in 2011. This means that students' writing skills are actually getting worse over time based on the NAPLAN scores, and that English departments should be managing this themselves. This is a little bit tricky, as obviously it puts more pressure onto the English department, but I feel like this is a bit of a no-brainer step to take, especially because when I was in Penrith High School, in subjects like history and geography, where there were short and long responses and a bit of English was actually used, I wasn't actually taught any grammar or literary techniques that needed to be used though. I was only taught that in my English class. It makes sense to have a great English teacher at your school to be able to assist students, and I was quite fortunate and lucky that both Penrith and Gureen High School, I had a good handful of English teachers. I wouldn't say every teacher was good, but I was quite fortunate and I had some pretty good ones. Unfortunately, students who do not attend a high academic school or selective school may continue to be disadvantaged. We know that there is a huge teacher shortage at the moment, and you can see this in the news everywhere in terms of them being not qualified enough and know what they should actually be doing. 2 in 5 English teachers do not have the correct skills and confidence to teach writing out of a survey answered by more than 4,000 teachers in New South Wales, which is personally insane in my opinion. The true number of good English teachers is probably much fewer than this, as I'm sure if you would have experienced teachers who think that they are smart and actually helping kids, but it's actually the opposite. It doesn't actually seem like they know what they're doing. And yet for exams like the selective school, OC test or the HAS test, they still recommend that students do not need tutoring. Personally, that does not make logical sense as the tests are difficult and extremely competitive. If what we're learning at school is not actually supposed to be taught at the standard we should be being taught, then of course it's a bit of a no-brainer that so many parents and students are opting for tutoring in the first place. If we go to a local public school and we assign a teacher who's not confident in teaching writing, what other options do students have besides asking their parents and family for help? Exactly. The options are very limited. Students know the benefits of reading, but with so many distractions in the modern world on our phones and computers, we are seeing students read less and less. Reading is an easy way for students to improve their comprehension skills, expand their vocabulary in terms of the words they know and actually can utilize, and ultimately improve their writing. I recommend students, especially in primary school and junior high school, to try reading non-fiction books for about 30 minutes to about 60 minutes a day. I typically find that reading before sleeping is the best, especially in this weather, as you can warm up the bed and actually feel quite comfortable doing so. Also, when you're reading just before you sleep, you can also retain a little bit more about what you actually read. And I think my dreams are a little bit more exciting as opposed to if I didn't actually read at all. Reading books in senior high school is going to be a tougher challenge due to the number of assessments that are given out. So you want to take advantage of the time if you are in a younger grade or in primary school. Writing is a long-term activity and does take time to get better in. If you do not write often and you actively avoid writing, how can you expect to improve in this subject? Students who are naturally smart, who attend selective high school, tend to also struggle in writing. So it's totally normal if you struggle in it as well. If you can't afford it, I recommend getting a tutor who can help assist you in reaching your educational goals. The Australian school system is better than some other countries, but it is clear that there is still a lot to improve, especially in terms of writing, as our Year 9 students are getting worse over the years. This is not a trend that we actually want. Action needs to be done immediately because we can't just be reliant on our school teachers who themselves saying that they are not actually confident in teaching kids. It's a bit of a no-brainer. If you can't afford tutoring, make use of the videos that I share because I try to assist and share some of the information that I wished that my parent and that I was actually taught in schools. And for private tutoring organizations, they try to hold them as secrets and they never try to share it. So I hope you really enjoyed this video. And if you did, make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure to comment down below if you agree or disagree with this. And if you also have a good English teacher, or if you find that writing is a bit challenging and that your teacher is not actually doing enough to help you. But regardless, let me know your thoughts, share it with your friends, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.